Keanu and I were talking about this recently, trying to patch it together. He's got a better memory than I do. Mine is all effed up, but he's like that brother you have that like corrects you all the time. Like, oh, remember when we do? He's like, no, actually what we did was blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, right, thank you. No, but he was like, his memory, I think, was that they called us into Interscope and then they told us there. And I do remember, I've told the story a trillion times, so it's not fresh anymore, but I do remember vividly that day of being in the offices at Interscope. And I knew I had the part, and Keanu was all forlorn. And we'd kind of become friends by then because we'd been auditioning for so long, and he played the bass and rode a motorcycle, and I played the bass and rode a motorcycle. We just became buddies. But he was all forlorn. I was like, what's your problem? He's like, well, I'm playing Ted, and I thought I was Bill, you know? And I was like, dude, there was, honest to God, there was no fucking difference between these two characters. I'm happy. I'm more than happy to swap roles. He's like, no, it's cool. That's also very Keanu. He's like, he didn't want to like rain on my parade. He's like, no, it's good. I'm good. But
that's amazing.
But I think that's when we kind of got told. Yeah.
Wow. And how, again, did you know that did you think, okay, this is something special?
No. Lost Boys was the movie where I was like, wow, I'm in a big hit movie with this giant director. And like, you know, Jason was amazing and Kiefer's amazing. Like these actors who were so good. And I came from New York theater. And so I knew Ed Herman already. I'd done a show at Manhattan Theater Club. I knew Ed. Great. I knew Diane a little bit. I knew Bernard Hughes from the New York theater scene. I was just like, these were titans of like New York theater, which was my scene. I was like, what the fuck are they even doing here? You know, in this movie with the oiled up sax player. And, so no, on Lost Boys, I was like, wow, this is Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a Hollywood movie, you know, and I'd be doing scenes with Kiefer and I'd just be like, God, he's fucking great. You know, he's like, he's going to be a giant movie star.
Yeah.
And of course he was. Bill and Ted was like the opposite.
You were like, well, here
I
we
was
go.
like, Keanu and I'd be like, dude, we'd be like literally waiting for a take to start. We'd look at each other and be like, no one's ever going to see this fucking movie.
You thought that?
No one is ever in a million years ever gonna see this fucking movie. And we had like we didn't disparage it. Like we were having a great time.
You kicked ass.
We were like, but like Steve's in his 20s and the writers are in their 20s and like no one gave, it was this weird indie movie that no one gave a shit about it and no one in town knew about. It was low budget and it was like fucking.
You didn't get paid much.
We didn't get paid hardly. I got paid $65,000 for Bill and Ted 1.
For 3 months.
Before commission and tax and everything. I think that money was spent like on paying back my student loans and didn't touch my rent.
Right.
So it was like, this is great. We put our all into it. We had fun acting.
Yeah.
We cared about it. We thought the writing was fucking awesome. We thought Steve was great. But we didn't think, it was the era of HBO. Like we were like, this is going to be on HBO at like 4 a.m. Like this is going to be sandwiched between like some TNA horror movie.
After Goodbye Emmanuel.
Exactly. Yeah. No one is ever. And then sure enough, the movie got scrapped. So we got a call from Scott, the producer, going, this is like after we made it, after they put it in post, like, sorry guys, but no one's ever going to see this film. It's being shelved. And we were like, oh, okay. And I went and did a little like period. Oops.
Holy shit.
Sorry. It's the ghost of Dino De Laurentiis. I went and did this little movie in Italy after that with Laura Dern and Eric Stoltz. And they were like, and we shot in some of the same locations we just done Bill and Ted. We shot in the same castle that I did the Darth Vader fight with. And now I'm like playing this, 19th century strange character with like in these fineries, and all of the Bill and Ted signs were up, and they were like, what is this fucking movie? I was like, no one's ever going to see this film, right? And it got shelved, and it sat on a shelf for a year, and then it got bought out in a fire sale by Nelson, and then it became a hit. So it was a very not Hollywood, not we're going to make it trajectory. And it wasn't until the release weekend when there was like a twofold ad in Variety that showed me and Keanu sitting on top of piles of cash. And it was like Bill and Ted giant hit or whatever the wording was. And I was like, oh, okay. But it took all the way up until then to think it was going to have any kind of life.